Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight has been today, and what a beautiful day. Anyway, I love you all, and thank you for all of you who have been here, and those of you who are new to my YouTube channel. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and this is the family of love, light, and peace. And so with that being said, if you want to find me on YouTube, you can through YouTube, and that is Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. And thank you for all of you, anyone out there, whoever watches my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for the new subscribers out there, and the other family out there. This is our the tribe family here. Is thank you for those of you who've subscribed in the past. So thank you. Woo-hoo! Thank you so much for all of you. Woo-hoo! I appreciate all of you, because guess what? No matter what you think, we all need each other. So thank you for all of you who've subscribed from before, or even who just recently joined me. And also thank you for all of you who give me thumbs up, who share my videos, who even leave me comments down below the video. So thank you. And if you want to reach out to me, you can through my Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And if you want to ask me any questions, I did make a video because somebody did ask me a question. Of course, that video was super long, so I don't think they found that yet, but their answer is there, is at least the best that I could do as far as helping that person. So I hope they find that video. And also, if you want to send any love donations to Starlight, you can, and that is through my Cash App, and I will have that information here. Ding! There it is. Alrighty, yay! I appreciate all of you. Thank you for all of you being here. Woohoo! Yes, and thank you. So tonight's video is about, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that. You know, you can. That's the whole, it's a mindset. People are like, yeah, I wish I could do what you're doing. You can do what I'm doing. It's a mindset. It doesn't happen overnight. I do have to say that. There's people out there, they're, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that could happen to them. They have dreams, they have desires, they have plans, but, they're letting it slip away. And, if you want those things to happen, you got to act now. Act now. Now is the time. Not, don't put that stuff off. You got to do it now. Have a plan. You want to travel around the United States. I meet people and they're like, I wish I could do that. You can. You're the only one that's holding you back. I manifested to be able to drive around the United States. I manifested that. My whole life I wanted to camp. Of course, this was not the kind of camping, I visualized. And it's kind of funny. I say that, and just recently, it's so crazy. I don't know what the universe is doing. So I'm like, universe, like Starlight needs some help here. Is in the back of my car is loaded with stuff, I'll tell you. I wanted a bicycle. I got a bicycle. For free. Beautiful shape. Like brand new. A Huffy, not a Husky. It's a Huffy. A Husky, Starlight, is a dog. A Huffy is a bike, Starlight. Okay. So, and it rides great. Because I need the exercise. I need to get my legs going and my muscles, And it's so funny. Everything is going my way. I think of stuff, people show up. This is so funny. I said this ahead of time. I'm like, universe, Archangel Michael, please bring this person in my reality. And I'm trusting and believing that she's going to want me to life coach her again this month here, August. And I'm like, can you please bring her, help her to come to me, so we can plan that out, and so I can help her out with the stuff that she's going through. You know, I think of things, and I think of, you know, I want to see somebody, I'm thinking of somebody, and they pop up. You know, that lady actually popped up. She goes, oh, I was waiting for you at the park. But here, I ended up leaving the park and going to a Dollar Tree, and boom, there she is, already handing me the money for the next, you know, life coaching. And she even gave me $20 extra because she already got a taste of Starlight's life coaching one month, and then she gave me $20 extra, you know, because that shows the kind of help that she really got and what she needed. So it's amazing how things are just coming in my life. And this is the going to be coming up is right now there's a full moon going on in the month of August. It's a very, you know, there's a lot going on, you know, and it's going to be the 8/8 portal coming up soon. So there's a lot going on. You got to be positive. Hang on, Starlight's got to open her windows up, get some air. But that's the thing, is people doubt that shit can happen. No, not shit, you know. People doubt that things can happen in their life. They see other people, oh yeah, that's, you know, that's great, you know, I'm happy for you, but that ain't happening. Well, you know what? What did you just say? You gotta, you know, like I was saying, is I've always wanted to go camping, and this is so crazy. Now, I'm not saying everything is so easy, but I was actually heading to where I parked the other night, and it was getting dark out, and it was actually raining on the way, and I can't believe it. You know, I gotta actually, tomorrow is I gotta take care of this problem. Is, you know, you never know what you're gonna find on the side of the road somewhere. And I seen this big old bag, you know, in somebody's driveway that they're putting something out for free, and I'm like, urge, I'm not kidding. When I say urge, you know, like urge, Starlight's like, nobody was around, don't worry, I didn't get in an accident, because I pray before I, you know, drive. And so I hurried up, turn around, it's getting dark, you know, I gotta get, you know, I don't even know if I ate that already or not. So, oh my, you know, a tent, a 6-man tent, and it also has the liner for rain that you can put over top of the tent, you know. So tomorrow, what I need to do is open that big boy up, you know. I'll tell you, I got this thing in my bag. How did I sleep last night? And I'll tell you what, I brought that in my car when it was soaking wet, and Starlight's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna cover it outside with a tarp, hoping that it doesn't get wet. But it poured. So the whole bottom was soaking wet. So tomorrow I got to open that baby up and set the whole tent up, let it air dry so it doesn't have any, you know, it doesn't have a problem, you know, because you got to do that with tents. You got to be right on top of your stuff. And I couldn't do anything today because, you know, it was raining this morning and the ground is wet. So tomorrow that will be what I'm doing. But you know, things are just flowing into my life. Money is just coming in, you know. So it's amazing. It's a mindset, and you got to really trust and believe that you want to travel. You want to be in in a big motorhome and travel around. You know, I met another guy. He has a business, you know, out in this area, and it's kind of funny. He used to smoke marijuana, but I don't even know how the guy did it, you know, but he did it. He started his own business by selling pipes and odds and ends, you know, at a smoke shop. He has his own business, you know, and I recently talked to him, and he's, you know, catching up on stuff because he's a sweet man. And you know what? I told him that, oh yeah, you know, I haven't been around here for the last 3 years, and I've been traveling all around the United States. And he's like, oh, boy, that sounds like fun. Like, boy, I would like to, you know, you can do things, you know, but you gotta really want it bad enough, and you gotta act now. You know, you know, there's another lady that I met, and people, you know, we all are guilty of this, or at times we can be guilty. We have all these excuses why we can't make something happen. You know, I met somebody else, and they're living somewhere out here, and I got to help her out. You know, I'm a full-time serving God full time. When God sends people my way, bam, I'm already doing what I'm here to, what God has called me to do. I'm helping them out with their problems, sitting down, listening to them, giving them answers, and they come to me. I got people out here that are sending people my way. I had a lady that says, "Oh my, Starlight, I just told this lady about you and that you can help her out. She's a homeless lady, and she just lost somebody, and and I talked to her, and she was crying, and I didn't want to tell her anything or say anything because I'm afraid that I'm gonna say the wrong thing." I got people that I meet out here that's like, they're impressed with Starlight because they see the light. I got people seeing how I glow everywhere. I was here not too long ago at this library getting food, and there's a lady's like, "Wow, you are glowing," and that doesn't happen by not working on yourself, So you want to travel? Like I'm saying, this lady out here is, I told her, because it's so hard for people to have money for this, money for that, money for this, money for that, and so I said, you ought to really save money for a car. And oh, I can't do that. I wish I could do that. But people are, there's times that people have bad habits that are messing them up. You think about it. If somebody gave up smoking cigarettes, if they gave up drinking alcohol, if they gave up smoking marijuana, wow. Imagine the money that somebody spends, like Starlight. When I used to be out here and live out here and had my cleaning business, wow, I didn't smoke cigarettes. I gave that up in 92, but man, I can't believe how much money in marijuana. It was $400 or possibly more, and I gave a lot of that away, is handing it to people, helping people out. That's what people do when they're smoking. At least most people, they like to share, because they're like, hey, if I'm without some time, I helped you out, like, please help me out. But that is what a lot of people do. They like to share that stuff. But, in alcohol, they like to share that too, But man, the money that I wasted 1 month just on marijuana, and I know it was a lot more than that a month on alcohol. I mean, it started off with 1 glass of wine a night to 2 glasses a night to 3 glasses a night. People could say whatever they want to say about Starlight, but man, I've been working on myself, I'm saving a lot of money because I gave up things that were no longer serving me. There's a lot of things that people don't want. They want to save money, but they're not willing to let go of things that's not good for them, like smoking cigarettes. How much does that cost a month? You add all that stuff up, marijuana, drinking alcohol, and whatever your thing is, there's people out there, they waste money on lottery. Oh man, it's horrible. I actually, I my whole life, for any scratch-offs or doing any lottos, I barely spend any money my whole entire life. I would have to say my whole entire life, I might have spent $50 my whole life on any kind of gambling stuff. Starlight just never, it never seemed to work out for me. Which was a good thing, because I see people, they go to Stewart's, $60 for a scratch-off ticket. You gotta be shitting me. $60? Then I just heard a guy tell me the other day, he goes, you ought to look around on the ground. He goes, I have found $50 on the ground. He goes, I find money all the time. And, even saying that, guess what? He's going to find money all the time because he's speaking it. And he's not even aware that he's bringing it into his reality. And I say, I'm a money magnet, I got a tent back here, I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I don't have the space for it. I've wanted a skateboard. I also desire some rollerblades, that would fit me. That, I would love to have a pair of rollerblades, but I gave this skateboard away. I mean, it's amazing how stuff has just been coming in my life. So it is amazing how you can make things happen, but you got to believe. And there is work, in the Bible it says works without faith. Works without faith. I know there's another part to that, but the churches weren't teaching this stuff. What do I got to do? I get messages from the universe, like right here. I got numbers. I got numbers on here that gives me messages, and it's like starlight. All your material stuff will come in. Everything that you need will all come in, as long as you do what the universe wants you to do. You need to spend more time on your spirituality. You need to do this. You need to do that. When you do all these things, when you work on your goals, and of course, there's many times there could be things, distractions, that pull us aside. Also balance as far as, making sure we're not putting others before our own self, making sure we take care of our needs before we run around and taking care of everybody else's needs. So there's a whole lot of rules that we need to go by and how the universe works, but those numbers really work. I am so serious. Like this tent back here, I really don't know what the universe wants me to do. I'm like, universe, I would love to receive that tent, but I need something I need something for the roof of my car to stick it in there, because I have no space at nighttime. When I had that wet tent in my car, and then I put like a big garbage bag, because I found garbage bags somewhere one day, a whole roll of them. I'm like, hey, I could use that roll of garbage bags. I'll take that. I don't know who they belong to, and it's a good thing that I stuck that this tent in the bag. It was a big bag, because all the water that it was inside the bag of the tent. So it was a good thing, because I could have had water all over in my car. So I do have to figure out what the universe is doing with this tent, even if I collected it so I can be a blessing to somebody else, some homeless person. So that is what I'm going to do tomorrow, is to air it out, get it all aired out. People are going to think I'm crazy when I do this, because I'm going to be right out in the park, and they're going to come and say, hey, you can't have that here. I'm only air drying it. I just got to air, and but hey, things are flowing in my life. I don't know about you, and you can make things happen. You got to just believe that you want to travel. You want a car? Well, you got to, what? There's things that people are spending money on that they know they need to give it up. But sometimes, what happens to people? They hear themselves, and it sounds good to tell everybody that I want to give it up. 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 But maybe they really don't want to give it up. Maybe they're really not ready to give that up yet. But it sounds good by, saying it to other people, is I want to give that up. I want to give this up. When? Tomorrow? How about now? I could cold turkey with alcohol and with marijuana, but there was times that I'm like, what? Many times when I gave up marijuana, is that I still had marijuana, and I'm like, nope, today I'm done, because you know what? I might change my mind. And so I ended up giving so much marijuana away to give it up. But I ended up saving a lot of money because I did give it up. So there's people out there, they say I can't do that, but they can. Is that they don't realize where their money is going. What are they buying? Do you really need what you're buying? Those, people ask me questions, but they might not always like the answer that Starlight is going to give them. But you got to believe whatever it is that you desire. I wish. Well, make a wish, and get busy. Believe in it, believe in it. Picture it. You got to do the work. If you don't, like my very first video was, are you searching for guidance? Got to look that video up, because numbers have meaning. Like 8 is a very powerful number, you know, and that is what we're coming up next. Is August is my month. Starlight's birthday will be coming up soon. Starlight will be a year younger, like every year. So anyway, I love you. I hope you really get a lot of help, but I wish, stop wishing, make it happen. You can make this happen instead of wishing, you know. I wish. I am manifesting everything that I desire, you know. I am manifesting this, whatever it is, you know. Is like, I tell people, I might say that I need something, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, God's already got it taken care of. You got to act like it's already here, but it takes time. It doesn't happen, and that's why it's so important to act now. Don't put it off. You want to travel, you need a car, what's stopping you? That's it. I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.